I am not happy about the hip hop awards being canceled. Like, as somebody who grew up on hip hop and I'm obviously a rapper, this really hurts.
Ever since 2006, the BET Hip Hop Awards have entertained many families around the country, especially those in the Black community. Top artists came out, new artists got recognized, and of course, we all love the Hip Hop Awards show. And for a while, it was cooking. Ratings were up, money was coming in, and all of the hot rappers wanted to perform for this particular show. And the reason why is, well, the BET Hip Hop Awards is Black American, it's Black, and you get recognition in the community for being there. And it's not only that you're doing it for the genre, you're doing it for Black culture.
He's right, you know.
But lately, BET hasn't been doing so good. The Soul Train Awards, which started in the 80s honoring R&B singers, is now on hold, as well as the BET Hip Hop Awards. CEO Scott Mills says the network isn't eliminating these shows, but rather reimagining them for today's shifting media landscape.
Stop the cap.
I should have known something was up when the budget started getting even lower and lower. Like, did y'all not see last year's Hip Hop Awards? That mess look low budget AF. It sucks because we're literally witnessing hip hop like not become the number one or main genre that it was. It's so watered down. Anybody could be a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to have bars anymore. You don't have to have creativity or skill anymore.
Now, the lady is talking about the lack of talent in the industry. Everybody can come into the game now. It's kind of like Jake Paul just coming into boxing. He's making a lot of money, but people think that he doesn't have enough skill set to be taken seriously in the sport. He's actually diluting the sport instead of making boxers become better to compete heavily in the sport. And now, if you're popular, you can just become a rapper. Almost everybody is doing it. You look at the streamers who are doing it. Let's look at DDG. Now, DDG started off as a YouTuber. I've never really listened to his rap albums, but now he is rapping too. And the reason why he's doing that is because he's a very popular streamer and a content creator, and it's easy for him to get into the rap game. And now with the world of streaming and hip hop, it's easier. The same thing with athletes. Anybody can come into the genre now. And number two, she mentioned artist development. There's a lack of artist talent development in the industry. And that's another thing that people are understanding as an industry problem. But she isn't the only person to say that.
BET Hip Hop Awards got canceled or getting canceled. I mean, after last year's fiasco debacle of a show where they tried to make it like the goddamn club and had people in sections and the C list and D list of all goddamn hip hop acts performing. I mean, it's been on a decline for years, but to be honest, man, like, hip hop itself has been on the decline for years. Like, the draw to that was like the top name artists and maybe the freestyles, but these new rappers don't freestyle anymore. All this be whack.
He's absolutely right when he talks about the lame club outfitting that the Hip Hop Awards had, because it was at Dre's Beach Club and nightclub in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Got him!
Sponsorship was so low and so invalid that the budgets were reduced to taking a large stage performance into a nightclub setting. Way to get some more.
Our big name artists, like our top artists, don't even come to the show no more. So I mean, who's gonna want to watch it? It's not making any money. We're not watching it as a culture. It's whack as a goddamn show as far as entertainment value is concerned.
Here he's talking about still the same level of trash rappers in the game, and the very best talent doesn't want to come to the show. Now, here's what's happening now. At first, the industry was largely gatekept. You had to sign with a record label to get on. Once you can become an independent artist, then you can compete against big labels yourself. Happens all the time. And some people got through. And this is based on your ability to sell to people or create your own fan base. And so what you're seeing now is hip hop artists not really developing themselves in the genre, but becoming social media stars. Like, look at Blueface. I'm not trying to hate on Blueface. he's my brother and I love him, right? I think he's a cool guy. He's a trash rapper. We are more concerned with his back and forth beef with Christian Rock than we are with his lyrics. And the same thing can be said about her. You can classify her as a rapper, but she's known as a crash out. So now you build your following and you do your thing and you're in the industry, but as an artist, you're not taken seriously. And so now the bar of what you're seeing in the industry drops. Although people still do listen to rap and it's still something that folks like, but when you have Blueface and these other guys getting into the industry, it makes it worse. But then this is the real reality of it all.
First of all, this is an era of hip hop when the old rappers are better than the young ones. Come fight me.
Now, this lady is referring to the Clips' latest album drop, Let God Sort 'Em Out. And the Clips, you know, they're probably like in their mid 40s or whatever from Virginia. And I mean, hey, it was hot back in a competitive time, which is like the 2000s. So what happened in the 90s and the 2000s, hip hop was very, very competitive. I mean, you had the Wu-Tang Clan. I mean, you had, Snoop, you had Tupac when he was still living, Big when he was still living, all of those guys out there, Nas, Jay-Z, everybody was really, really good. And what you could argue is the rappers in the 90s were better than the rappers in the 80s. That's something that we could basically say happened. Skills developed, the ideas in hip hop developed, clothing brands developed around that time. Some could argue that in 2000s, that other doors got open, like for example, the South with trap music, Atlanta, Memphis. Then we all saw the developments in the Midwest. So we saw from 2000s, it went from being East and West Coast based in the 90s to now other artists such as like Lil Wayne in New Orleans in those markets could also express their talent in their own way, which happened to be somebody like, Lil Wayne becoming a big time rapper in his own way in New Orleans, which may not have happened in the 90s. So we can look at some of the 2000 rappers and say that genre or that age range could or could not be better than the 90s. It's up for debate. But what can we say for sure? That the rappers of today are nothing like the rappers of the 90s in the 2000s.
He's right,
And so because the artists are not developing, people are more concerned about the artists in the past. Let's talk about Versus. When Versus would come on Instagram Live, everybody wanted to see it. Whether it's the R&B talent or the hip hop artists, even the most popular artists of the day are in the comment section because they're appreciating what we consider to be real talent. And that's exactly what Clips is doing now. In their 40s, they're creating better albums than guys in their 20s. But there's another thing that's coming out about this.
So first, they didn't lead with playlist or radio. They debuted their songs at a Louis Vuitton show with Pharrell, who is now LV's creative director, if you didn't know. Now, these songs on the album were teased a whole year before the album dropped. Second thing, instead of dropping merch when the album dropped, they were dropping merch a whole year before as well, building an ecosystem. Denim Tears tees, Billionaire Boy collabs, Carhartt jackets. Oh, and now Adidas shoes. And they were releasing these in phases before the drop of the album.
This lady is talking about the planning of the development that Clips had in their release. They partnered with Louis Vuitton. We all know Pharrell is probably one of the greatest producers of all time. He produced them along the other guy, which they were called Neptunes at the time. And then basically they had all of this development and collaboration with Louis Vuitton. They had Billionaire Boys Club, which I believe is a part of Pharrell's label. And then this particular planning structure of having experience in the game, releasing a lot of this stuff a year before it actually came out, which means not only are older rappers better than the new ones, they're actually more talented and they understand the industry more, and they're more on the ground creating offline activations, while the newer rappers are more concerned with just getting clout on YouTube.
Damn.
And so all of these problems means what for the industry? Well, the BET Hip Hop Awards experienced a complete dramatic decline in live TV ratings. Nielsen report shows that the award shows have lost more than 30% of viewers since 2015.
What?
2025 BET Awards experienced a 50% drop in ratings compared to the previous year.
Oh, hell no!
Once you can't get the ratings, you can't get the sponsorship. That's what happens, okay? So nobody wants to be associated with it if there's nobody watching it. And so basically the culture pretty much moves on because you have a lack of a cultural reference, right? So now people start to move, they look for real talent, right? And then obviously the poor planning for the BET Hip Hop Awards to release new people into the system is also destroying it, because we're going to be honest, most of the award shows cater to the industry gatekeepers, and the industry gatekeepers are not being innovative anymore. And so now the audience and now even the sponsors have dried up. BET Awards and the Soul Train Awards have to figure out how to do these things in order to win their audience. It's not all their fault because the industry has died and it is dying, but they also got to do a better job of bringing back the actual culture of hip hop, basically making hip hop a meritocracy again, like we see with guys like Drake or Kendrick Lamar, guys who are real talents in the space, and now everybody is a copycat. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy Yoshi Du Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.